Hello, how are you? This is JilliBling. Okay, what do you think about this cutest ever project with kangaroos? And I'm assuming this is lilac. When I saw this this image, I thought how perfect with the lilac paper, and this too. All kinds of purples. So let's make something similar to this. I used an old ribbon just because I have like 5 spools and some old bling, but I want to do it today with linen thread to kind of match the kangaroos and some iridescent pearls. Okay, so the set is Embraced with Love, and it has 3 adorable images on it, and I relate to every one of them. And I have plans to do a project using these 2 also, probably tomorrow's project. Simply Said for the words on the inside, saying thanks. The dies are Sentimental Park. Oh, and the dies are a lot of fun. I'll show you those in just a minute. So, what do we have? Linen thread, glue dots. Oh, and this is a host code. If you have anything on your wish list that you'd love to order, I'd love if you could use this host code. I'll put this in the video description. Dimensionals. Iridescent basic pearls, we'll use those. Here's the paper, here's the pieces. Here is the paper. I took the name off. I think it's Perennial Lavender, or just search lavender. And as you could see from all these little leftover pieces, it all works so well together. Okay, so let's start with the bottom, and I'll put the paper cut sizes. Look how nice the freesia matches with all this too. Oh, and I have to apologize in advance. Across the street, they're having the drag boat races. They come a few times a year, and this is the weekend. And this is the day where I think everyone is leading up to like the trials, and today is the day. So all of a sudden you'll hear, and then it'll stop. Boom. I just let him out and in and out again. Okay, but you have to stay in. Okay, no more of that. Okay, go 9-9. Okay, so this paper is folded in half, and then the top part folded in half again. I'm too lazy to get out my score tool. And usually when I get out my score tool, it makes a really nice score, which is nice. But then it's like the pieces, they don't exactly match up. Like it's like there's like a little lip of the under layer showing. So I do a little bit better with scoring and folding it that way. Okay, so this is a lot of layering. So these are going to go right here. You wouldn't even know. Okay, let me tell you what I did here. So I was cutting the paper, and I cut it to perfect size, but I cut it so that the flowers are going sideways. Not good. And I'm like, I don't have that much more of that design. So you can't tell this, but I took a piece of tape and I stuck it right back together. And the seam is right here. From there you might be able to tell. If I really smushed it down, you couldn't. But there's a little bit hanging over, so don't tell anyone. But it's good for you to know that if ever you do that, and if it's kind of a busy print, and if it's going to be covered like this one is, not much showing, you might be able to get away with it too. Okay, so I wonder if this Stampin' seal is going to go over the tape. I'll find out here really quick. Good. That one gets stuck. This one will get stuck down. There's just a whole bunch of layers. If I stick all these down, the card will be almost there, other than the adorable kangaroos. So I had to look up online, what are all those animals? All these right here. Can you see them? Particularly these. Like, I knew this was a rabbit and that was a bear. And I was assuming that these were kangaroos, but it's like, I know that there's wallabies over there too, and they're kind of similar looking. And then when I really looked at them, this is a stretch. I thought, is that? It's like very similar to the face of a deer, just because we have a lot of deer around here. Not that I thought it was a deer, just by the way they're standing up and their cute little front legs. Oh, and talking about cute little front legs. So, did I stick too many down? Do I have too many? I'm going to start building up. So, I was talking with Amy the other day, and she's like, yeah, I'm short. Because I was trying to reach something I couldn't, and she was saying, yeah, at the shop, us girls, we joke. You know what that is? That's for, it's a good thing I didn't put sticky on it. That they joke around that they can't reach product because she does hair. Or I can't reach this or that. And she's like, I'm like a T-Rex, you know, with the little arms, and I can't reach anything. Okay, so wouldn't you know, I think that Pinterest listens to me. I think it was like a day later, Pinterest had this picture on there, and it made me crack up laughing. And I showed it to Tony today. Let me see if I can find it. And the reason was, Tony's all sore from working out in the yard, and he was leaning down to get something, and he's like, oh, I said, you need your little grippers from when you had your hip done. And he said, yeah. And then I started laughing all amongst myself, and I said, you should see what I found for Amy. Look at the little grippers. And you know how that would help people that are of down-to-earth people, you know, a little bit vertically challenged. Anyhow, I thought it was funny. It's hard to laugh here all amongst yourself, but when I was thinking about that with Tony trying to reach something, it was funny. Lavender. I'm not quite ready to go into fall. I know it's coming, but I like summer a lot. This week we have like an 85-degree day, or 86 or something like that, and that'll be nice. And all week it's been beautiful. I just don't want the super duper cold. I know it's happening. Highland Heather, Blackberry Bliss, Crumb Cake. Look how pretty that is. See, we're almost there already. Okay, and then this is going to go in here. This will go here, and that's to cut out the die. So to put this on, I'll have it centered, and I'm going to put glue all over here. Yeah. Haven't used it all day yet. Glue. So we have Evan and Michaela have a baby coming, a baby boy, October 26th. And it's getting close. And she's getting big. She's just so pretty. She's so cute. They did pregnancy or maternity portraits. Very nice. Okay. So I'm looking at how much is here and how much is over here. Having these layers on is a little bit distracting, but if I look at from this white to the edge, this white to the edge. I think that's good, just so it's not crooked. Okay, so that's good. Let's cut these out. So, oh, here, let's make a double bow. And I get to watch little one while they're at work, Monday through Friday. Tony says I'll help too, but with him working full time, he's not home too much. He comes home for lunch. But she'll take a few months off. Okay, so here's a double bow. Can you see how cute it will be already? Blending brush. Are you like, what's blending brush for? And masks. And that's about all the excitement that's to this one. Somebody said in a video, and I kind of don't blame them, that the card is pretty and all, but that's too much work. Like, well, yeah. So I'm trying to make some of them a little bit simpler. So I'm going to cut this out. And this beautiful die, I'm going to cut out. But this die, there's a little fun secret to it. If you have the set, you already know what it is. So here they are. The fun secret is this part here, these flowers lift up and that tucks in. Yeah, that's really cool. And then the same with this side. But before we do that, I'm going to get it all fancy. And we will use, well here, since we're at it, these are from the same die set. It's 2 sets of flowers and it's a repeat. They're just the same. And I'm going to put them on this piece of white, the inside piece, right along the edge. I'm going to try to get them equal, but if they're not equal, that's okay. Just as long as they're somewhat equal. Equal as in the amount from here to here, and the amount from here to here. Okay, I'm going to run this through. Look at that. Plus little flowers. Is that cute? Okay, so this can sit here. Did that. All we have left to do is the masks. And masks, I just took a Post-it, stamped on the Post-it, and cut them out. Nothing fancy. Okay, let's get to it. Oh, I didn't set out paper to cut out my cute little buddies. Well, how do you store your white paper? I put all my little pieces in here, hoping I'll use them, and I use a lot of them, but it usually ends up being thicker than I wish for it to be. I think that will hold. Oh, you know why I didn't set out paper? I stamped directly on. Okay. I stamped right on here. I'll put this underneath just because it makes it so I could see the outline a little bit better. Stampin' Memento. Look how cute they are. Thanks. And the look on their face, and this one's like, oh, thank you. Probably in a kangaroo world, giving flowers like that is like the full-on bouquet, because they're not out picking roses, I don't think. I don't know. Do kangaroos go and munch roses like deer do? Is that so cute? While I'm at it, let me stamp the thanks. So when I stamp the thanks on the inside, I want it underneath here. If I stamp it up too high and I see just the top of the words, not good. So I'm going to put it midpoint. Maybe I'll do it a little bit more centered. And we have to kind of decorate this with the blending brush just a little bit. Little flowers over there, some things. Good. We're done stamping. So this could go off to the side. And let's do the blending brush on these first, just because it's right here, nudging me in the elbow like the darling dog does. So, masks. The bottom part of them is sticky. So, fingers and ears, and I did leave, I'll hold this up. I did leave just a little bit of a border on the mask. It's not right up on the line, which kind of makes them, after I do the blending brush, kind of like they're glowing just a little bit. Okay, so ears and bouquet stem. There it is. Freesia, fresh freesia, and let's see how heavy that is. Oh, that's light. So the less ink that's on the brush, the softer it is. This is really soft, but it might be a good opportunity to have the color stretch out to the edges just a little bit. It's too soft though. And at this point, I'm not putting much pressure on it. And now because the ink is kind of wearing out, I'm putting more pressure on it. And when I go from ink pad directly onto the paper, I'm trying to start on one of the Kangaroo, just because I don't want a blob like that. So ink it up, start on the Kangaroo, soft. Once I know I'm not going to have the blob, then I'll start putting a little more pressure on it. And that should be good enough. I want just a hint of color. Oh, while I have this out, I should do the inside. So the inside, I'm going to do, with the flowers off to the side, I'm going to do blending brush over those little flower holes from the die cut. That's cute. Okay, we're done. So this can just stick inside because the inside paper is done. Okay, so let's see how, oh, we could finish here with the little flowers. So with the little flowers, I did a small dimensional on the center flowers because they're big. And I tried to put a small dimensional on the other flowers, but it's just too big. So even when I cut it in half, it's still too big. But I have a fix for that. 4, 2, 3, 4. And that is, take the glue dot, fold it in half, and then fold it in half again. So it looks like a quarter of a tortilla. And put it in place. And the glue dot provides just a little bit of lift. And when you're folding your glue dot in half, if you don't get perfect folding, perfect foldage, it's okay. You just want it to be kind of a glob of, like this one here is just kind of all rambled up of a glue dot. But it's in the center of the flower, and it's going to provide just a hint of lift. That one's good. Okay. Now for the flowers to go on. And I was thinking, oh, I should decorate them. And I was going to take the blending brush. Actually, I did take the blending brush to it. But then it gets too matchy-matchy with the blending brush on this white paper. And when you put them on so that they're close to being in line, but not perfect. Not like a complete opposite turn. And you could see in the pictures if you're like, what are you talking about? Here, I'll hold it up. Because I want to see a little bit of the Highland Heather paper hole underneath it. That one is really unique. But see how with the glue dot, there's still a little bit of a lift. Okay, inside is done. Okay, so back to our kangaroos. So now that I did the blending brush, I can take the masks off. Okay, this is like the reveal. You ready? Cute. And if you can inspect them too close, you probably should have cut a little bit closer on the mask. But I think it's okay. Like if you're super inspecting this, it's like, yeah, a little bit, it should have been snugger there. There it should have been bigger. But it's still okay. When you look at it from afar, it's cute. Okay, so for coloring, it's not too much. I say that and you're like, that's a lot of colors. Whenever I put out all the colors, people are like, that's a lot of colors. But that's because I usually do each area with 2 colors, like a light and a dark. And it's kind of tiny. I couldn't decide if I should use my shaded spruce light or shaded spruce dark marker. And what determined it was, how does that fine tip look? The fine tip on the dark looked brand new. The fine tip on the light looked a little bit dried out. Therefore, dark. And just 1 color for the flowers. Let me see how this tip looks. Yeah, same thing. And I'm not solidly coloring it in, I'm just kind of dotting it. And if there's white areas, that's okay. Because when you look at the designer paper, they have dark areas and kind of white areas. You could do no wrong. Okay, maybe if you color outside the lines. So the pink Flirty Flamingo Light is for Kangaroo receiver ears. And when I colored this in, I thought, oh, that's too dark. But you know how to fix it, don't you? I think the petal pink is good, but I was trying to make them slightly different. So to make it so this one doesn't have an ear infection looking dark pink, I'm going to take the color lifter and just kind of wash it out. Push some of that color to the back of the paper. See, it's already looking better. Color lifter, antibiotics, they do the same thing. Okay, so for the Kangaroos, I have 2 sets of colors remaining, and I did them just a little bit different. So this one's crumb cake, this one is gray granite. And because I'm going to put the crumb cake, well, I was going to say because I'm going to put the crumb cake bow right here, I would do this one as, I was going to do them opposite, but to me, which is closer? Okay, I think that the color of the linen thread is closer to crumb cake. So I'm going to switch the colors on these critters. Okay, they're kind of small. So I'll do gray granite everywhere. Yeah, this marker is kind of running a little low too. Not the eyeball. When the fine tip runs low, the other end is just fine. So I do them all in light gray granite. And then I'll go back and while the gray granite light is still a little bit wet, I'll put some shadows on there. I might need to clean it up a little bit. So whoever, the Stampin' Up! Artist decided to put these little hair lines or shadows, that's where I'll do the dark. Okay, that one is done. So now, same process with the recipient, Kangaroo. Thanks! Like these little fingers reaching out. So I really don't have any stories today. Oh, I just colored the eye crumb cake. I'll try to put the lifter on that to get it back to being white. And then once again, wherever the shadows say to color. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, so now we get to put this into that little slot. So there it is finished. And on my blog is JilliBling.com, I'll put pictures and it'll have some close-ups. But you can do this project with anything that will fit on here, and it doesn't have to fit perfectly. If you do it in a separate piece of paper and you cut it out, it's okay. For instance, this one, like if that one, oh, it's too big. But if you cut it out of a white paper, it's fine if the line art image goes above and below. Okay, and from experience, I'm going to put these pieces in, take my dimensionals, because I tried to tuck them under last time and I made the white insert crooked. Okay, make sure it's going to go straight. There he goes. Oops. And the crowd goes crazy over there. Oopsie, now it's a little bit crooked. See, I don't know if I should just be quiet over the noise or try to talk over it. Okay, so this drops down just, there we go. That's straight. And I'm looking at these little stitched marks, and I'm trying to get them parallel with the stitch marks on the Blackberry Bliss. Okay, now the trick is to get it into, well, maybe it doesn't need dimensionals on it. You know, hindsight. If you're doing it, maybe no dimensionals are needed. Oh, I might be getting it. I'm bending it, but that's going to be underneath this cuteness. I'm bending it. Okay, note to self. No dimensionals. Oh. Hopefully it's all gonna, and it popped right out. There it is. Okay, make sure all the flowers are cute. There it is. Okay, you can't even see it being all roughed up under here. Okay, so this just gets put on with glue, and I'll put glue on all of it, because all of this fits onto the designer paper. Dot, 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 dot. Okay. And more important than the die being on this piece of Heather designer paper is that it's straight. And I'm looking at the sides of the die, just like that. Very cute. Now, glue dot. One glue dot. Rolled up like a burrito, because I want it to be long. Not a pancake. Ooh, pancake sounds good. I'm hungry. Ooh, what about a German pancake? So if you do German potato pancakes, do you do nothing? Do you do butter? Do you do sour cream? Do you do mustard? If you do mustard, do you do regular or Dijon? And I say this just because my mother-in-law is German. And she makes the best German pancakes, and I've seen everything around that table. I like it all. A little bit of glue to cover up the glue dot and to lock it into place. Okay, so I think we just need the iridescent pearls on the front. 3 pearls. Somebody asked the other day, why do you always just say 3 on your projects? And there's a story behind it. I think I said it one time months ago. One time I had a lady who said, can I bring my my niece? And I'm like, of course you can. So they came to class, they had a great time. The girl, the niece, I forgot her name, was extremely talented. And you know how when you're around stampers and the first time they have to copy it exactly. Okay, that's fine. So the girl, the niece, didn't copy things exactly, and she was changing everything up, and it's like, wow, look at her go. Then the package of, it was rhinestones at the time, full package, was on her card, and she had everything lined, the inside of it lined, under every word, and random ones. She used up the whole package. She goes, look what I did. And she held it out and she showed everyone, and everyone is being encouraging. Oh, that's really nice. Wow, thank you. Then, like maybe 10 minutes later, somebody got to the point of needing the rhinestones, and she had for her rhinestones in the package, it didn't say 3 bling per card. This is what she had to work with. She goes, hey Jill, do you have any more rhinestones? I said, oh no, there's a whole package of them. And then everyone looked up at each other across the table without looking at her. And they just took a breath. They go, okay, I have some at home. The aunt didn't catch on. The niece didn't catch on. She was just on to her next card. And everyone just looked at it like, oh. So since then, not to be stingy, but you never know when a niece is going to come along. That's what the 3 bling per card is. Not so much being stingy, but just letting everyone have a little bit of sparkle. Everyone likes sparkle. Okay, see, I did have a story today. That's it for today's project. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe button. And a few people lately, thank you, thank you, thank you. They've been hitting the share button. And I really appreciate that. Okay, have a great day. Until next time, bye.